Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is the 105 leFH18B2, the French Tier 5 premium SPG that we know and love as Fifi La Pew Pew. You might know it's a leppy or a leaf blower. This one is on the northeast corner of Live Oaks and it's under the command of Targy. Well, we've got two replays featuring the Fifi from Targy, and it's a Tier 5 game with Tier 4 tanks in it, so it should be a bit of fun, because he can definitely do the dirty on quite a lot of those tanks and wipe them out with one shot. Let's see how he gets on. Standard reload 8.92 seconds, Targy's got it down to 7.01, and he's firing from north of the road, which is not the normal firing position, but it does tend to fool enemy Arty. In this game, the enemy Arty is a bishop, so I don't think he's going to be counter-batteried by the bishop, because he's probably just too far away to actually do any damage. Okay, he's aiming for the middle of the marsh to start with. Nobody turned up there yet. You notice how he's carrying 40 rounds of HE, 10 rounds of heat. Now, heat can have a tremendous effect upon enemy heavies, and in this game, the enemy heavies are an Excelsior and a KV-1SA. They've also got an AT2, which probably won't survive very long under the heat rounds. They've got 350 alpha and 104 millimeters of pen, so they do phenomenal damage. Okay, T-34 spotted, an Excalibur spotted. Excelsior rather, not an Excalibur. That's a tier 6. Okay, rounds out. Oh, that was a good one. So close to that T-34. He backs up under fire and he's now almost out of hit points. Rounds out and he dies before our shell arrives, but it wouldn't have hit him anyway. But that Excelsior's backing up and he's got his side to us. Rounds out. Just narrowly misses him. This would be a good moment to be with the heat rounds. Rounds out. That's going to miss. If he loads the heat rounds now, he might just get a penetrating shot. Fires one in. No, this guy's actually dodging the shells very well by moving backwards and forwards as much as he is. But he won't dodge them forever. In fact, now he's receiving fire from our KV-1SA. And I don't think he's going to survive long. That was a direct hit for 78 and he's gone. The KV-1SA got the honours. Okay, so moving on. Who's next? Well, we briefly saw an M8A1 on the railway line, but we've lost contact. But we have spotted a few other enemy tanks. Oh, over on the railway line, we've got the Matilda. Rounds out. Short of the target. It wasn't fully dialed in when he fired, but he'll give it another go. Rounds out. This time he gets a hit for 106. Going for the Stug. It's the Stug B, the tier 4. Rounds out. Wipes that guy out altogether with one shot. I think that was a penetrating shot. 267 hit points. Okay, M3 Ausführung, N3, Panzer 3 Ausführung J moves up, and he's now using that wreck for cover, which is a bad move because it means he's stationary while he's being hit. And now he's out the game. Yeah, you shouldn't park behind a tank thinking it protects you. It won't protect you from shells which are coming in from above, not sideways. That's the problem with a lot of tank players. They seem to think, oh yes, I'm perfectly safe if I hide behind a wreck. You're not really. In fact, actually, the KV-1SA wasn't hit there, but it wasn't because he was wasn't fully dialed in. That's a direct hit, and that did get him directly. Yep, that was a direct hit as well. Now, these could be penetrating shots. And again, whoever's in that marsh is actually getting hammered at this moment. These shells are actually hitting target, and again. So whoever's there is getting pulverized. The first shell that misses the target. And we switch target to the tanks that are getting closer. This Matilda, for one, now dialing in ahead of the path, which is something I've said many times. If you want to get accurate shots, you dial in ahead of their path. Line up the shot so that they can drive through the spot where you're aiming, and then you get an accurate hit. That Matilda's getting very close. Oh, we find a bit premature there. Line him up. And he's gone. Okay, Chaffee decided to duck over the railway line for cover, but it didn't work. Okay, the scores are even at the moment. There's 6 tanks left on either side. We've got that 82. This might be a good chance to bring out those heat rounds. He is stationary. He's not moving anywhere. Okay, instead he's firing a standard HE. Rounds out. Looks good. Direct hit. 49 hit points that time. Still firing out the HE, but he's lost sight of the target. And there's a Panzer III Aslains J, fairly close actually, just sitting the other side of that spotting hill. And he's actually firing rounds at us at the moment, using the gun depression. And that really teaches him a lesson there, because he lost 164 from a direct hit. And he didn't like that, so he's turned around and he's running away. Rounds out ahead of his path. He manages to dodge it. Okay, the KV-1SA was the one who was in the marsh. So that was the tank that probably took multiple hits from Targy's gun. The only problem is we don't know where he is now. The Cruiser 4 is watching over that area. There he is. And he has lost some hit points, but not a huge amount. And you can see all the impacts on the front of his, on his front plate. So most of those shots from Targy actually did directly hit the front. But unfortunately, they hit the heaviest armor on the vehicle. And unfortunately, that meant that he didn't do any damage. And that was a direct hit as well. Looks like it probably hit the tracks area. He's fired another one. And he's loading the heat rounds now. Unfortunately, the heat does require a direct hit. So he needs to spot the target. Rounds out. That's a direct hit. And that one did hit the tracks. But it only tracked him. It didn't pen. Set it. Rounds out. That's a pen, and a big one, 346, a low roll. The next shot could take him out the game. Rounds out. Another hit, but it hit the tracks yet again. And this time round, the KV-1SA goes down, but he's actually taken out the game by the Cruiser 4. Okay, we're still loaded with heat. Nope, you're still loaded with heat, and you weren't fully dialed in when you fired the heat round. He's loading the HE now. That's why the shell missed and just dug a hole in the ground. Okay, we're 1 down on the enemy now. We're also only half the hit points of the enemy team, which is not good. They don't have an Arty either, that for that matter. Their Bishop did get taken out during the game. Problem is, I think our team are more inclined to be defensive, and on top of that, Targy is the closest one to the cap, although the BDR G1B is pulling back in this direction. Problem is that if one of the enemy decides to come up the railway line, then it's going to have to be up to Targy to stop them. (14TP) still spotting near the city and the south of it. Up, the 14TP's taking fire. He's losing his hit points, and the Panzer III takes him out. So, yes, so the enemy is advancing from that direction. It's just they managed to spot the 14TP without him being able to spot them. Now, normally under these circumstances, I'd say play to our strengths, and maybe the good idea would be to actually go down the railway line and let the BDR and the Cruiser 4 spot for us when the enemy tries to cap. If we stay near the cap area, then when the enemy does turn up, we're going to be the first ones killed. And I think Targy read my mind. He's decided it's safer to be on the other side of the railway line. Trouble is, we're outnumbered 2-1 now, and that makes it very difficult to win this game. The enemy also has a T28E with the F30 gun. That's the 85mm gun. That's a premium tier 4. At least now behind these trees we do have a bit of cover. Or the bushes rather. Being the upside. And the Cruiser 4 is taking fire. So somebody is coming from the town. Cruiser 4 is losing hit points. So although we're covering that direction. Oh, and the first target's coming in from this direction. And it's the T-28 and the Panzer III Ausführung F. And luckily our long view range has actually helped us here to spot the enemy whilst they're on the advance. Okay. You can see the T-28 lining up the shots. That should be about it. Nice. A hit for 153. We have been spotted though, so we're going to start receiving fire. Another hit, this time for 136. Need at least 2 more shots like that at this rate, and we're losing hit points. Well, the T-28 goes down, but we're losing hit points rapidly, and that's it. Unfortunately, the BDR wasn't able to protect us, and only the Cruiser 4 is left. I don't think he's going to last very long either. Yes, he's been spotted. And yes, there's the AT2 with his fast-firing 2-pounder gun. Of course, that's the stock gun, but of course he could have one of the other guns, and the game's over. Here's the end of battle stats for the first game, and that was a first-class tanker for Targy in the 105 leFH18B2. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits in that one. He managed to get 18, and he got a high caliber as well for dealing the most damage in the game, at least 20% of the enemy hit pool. And his win rate for that game, 8,228, which is very good indeed. Super Unicum and a bit more, quite a bit more. And he did do well because he actually did use the heat rounds to good effect. Look at the team scores. We can see he managed to get 2,521 hit points of damage in that game. The next highest scorer was the Matilda on the enemy team, and he managed only 1,341, followed by their Panzer III, followed by the KV-1SA on our own team with 1,108 hit points. When it came to kills, it was shared because Targy had 3 kills, so did the Cruiser Mark IV, and so did the Matilda and the T-28 on the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, it was the Matilda on the enemy team came out on top with 759, but Targy was actually in second place with 686, and in third place was the Excelsior on the enemy team with 675. He fired 36 rounds, so he still had 14 rounds left at the end of the game. 16 direct hits on the enemy, 4 penetrating shots, and 15 splash. Damage of 2,521 hit points, of which 1,981 were at more than 300 meters. Unfortunately, those were the shots that he was firing very, very close to that T-28 and also the Matilda. Or is it the, I think it was Matilda. 9 direct hits received, 6 of them penetrated, 3 non-penetrations, and 210 hit points of damage blocked by armor. He spotted 1 enemy vehicle, damaged 9 of the enemy, killed 3, and he got 216 hit points of damage assistance. On a premium count, he actually earned a profit off that game, 29,235 credits, and he also took away 2,257 experience points as well, but unfortunately it was a loss. He did get the Courageous Resistance Award on both cases, simply because he managed to get a Battle Hero or a Battle Hero and Epic medal in a losing or drawn game, and he did get a Battle Hero medal, which was the high caliber. So at least he got compensated for the fact that his teammates didn't do so well in the end, but better luck in the next game. And we do have a next game to show you, so let's have a look at that one right now. The second replay is on Studzianki, and it's on the Westbourne. Game on. Well, you can see all the marks of achievement on the side of Targy's vehicle. Yes, he's actually been in the wars quite a lot. And oh, that was a very unfriendly shot from the enemy Arty, who happens to be a BP, by the way, and he's starting off the vessel, the game, by firing at the places where he thinks that targy might be. Well, he's got it wrong this time because targy wasn't in those spots. But it's a brave man to actually fire a couple of rounds in when you don't know where the enemy might be, just guessing. And, well, he's doing quite well because he's aiming for the right spots, but targy's not there. 105mm light field howitzer, capable of doing 410 alpha, penetrating 53mm of armor, and standard reload 8.92, as I've said, and targy's got it down to 7.01. Makes it one of the most devastating arties in the game. Well, apart from some of the bigger ones, it's one of the most fun arties to play because, of course, it's rapid fire. It means that you can do quite a lot in the battle. The only problem is, of course, it's limited on the amount of damage it can actually do. Of course, it's very nice getting a very big hit with a huge arty, being able to really smack the enemy about. But, of course, Wargaming have neutered Arty over the years, and they make it very difficult for Arty players to actually get serious damage. Back in the day, you used to be able to take out a tier 10 heavy tank with one Arty round. And yes, we all lament those days because it was so much fun firing an Arty and then taking out the enemy one round. And that's a good shot. The 59-60 took a round while he was on the move in the center trench. And he's just been taken out altogether. That's a kill shot. Very well played there by targy. Okay, we've got the new configuration of the map of Studzianki with the factory area has been changed. Does make it possible to hit some of these enemy tanks as they come forward now. It used to be very difficult to actually hit enemy tanks when they were on the railway line, inside the building, so to speak. Oh, that was a good shot on the Porlak. Go for the Tiger 131. Fires it in. Unfortunately, the shell goes long over the top of his engine deck. Just let the thing settle. Oh! Well, that one hit the mantlet. You can see the mark right on the gun mantlet. No doubt about that. And that one hit as well. He's using the heat rounds now. These shells should be going through the armor. Even the frontal armor of a Tiger 1's not able to take. No, that was a heat round. Okay, might want to consider going back to the HE now quickly. He's loaded a heat. He's looking for a target to hit. The Skoda. He's going to have to let this one dial in because he can't fire heat rounds undialed in because the shell is likely to go astray. Skoda stops for a brief moment, backs up. Oh, well, that one's unfortunately made an expensive hole in the ground. But the next round, oh, he's loading another heat round. He's confident. Rounds out. That confident. Yes, he just nuked the Skoda, who got hit in the side and penetrated and ammo-racked in one fell swoop. That's almost worthy of an action replay. It's actually very funny when Arty does get a ammo rack on an enemy tank. I think we just saw where the enemy Arty is located as well. He's just in a corresponding position, but he's on the top of the bank on the other side of the battlefield, just short of the bit where it drops off. Now, we might be able to get a shot on that BK. Probably see another tracer coming out from there. Yep, there he is again. People are marking that spot on the map. They think they know where the RT is because they can sense where the shells are coming from. The enemy RT doesn't have a kill yet, but we never know. He might get one. Okay, VK's out on the move. I think that targy's become fixated by the Tiger 131 rather than going for the VK3001P. Who just drove straight through the camera. And there's the 131. Now he's got a heat round. And oh my gum, he got him. That heat round did hit the target and took him out. But now he's got to try and deal with that VK who just took a kill on one of our guys, the M10 RBFM. Now we've got no shot on the Cromwell, as much as I think he would like to get a shot. I don't think it's possible. No, that roof is going to stop the shell dead in its tracks. Yeah, he pulled back as soon as he fired. Or rather, the aim lifted. It is sometimes worth getting the battle assistant you get from Aslains because it doesn't suddenly lift like that. You don't. It stays stable all the time throughout the game and makes it much easier for you to hold your view on whether or not you can get the shot into target. Now he might be able to hit that VK. It wouldn't be worth investing a heat round in him, but it certainly might be worth an HE. No, he hit the building there. He selected HE for his next shot. I think he can damage the guy with an HE round. No, he's at the moment we can't see the shot, so I'm pulling back. That's again down to a fault with Aslains where it takes you straight forward and you have to pull the camera back to see exactly what you're looking at. Rounds out the Excelsior. No, it's going to be late. Okay, but he might be able to get him once he's stationary. Oh, in fact, there's two. Go for the M10. It's a lightly armored. And he did get some splash on him. Now he's adjusting his aim to get a direct hit. Could get the kill shot. Oh, he got a direct hit! No explosion, but he did hit him, and that could have been costly for the M10. In fact, it was, because he's got him. He took him out with 2 shots. Now, can he get that Excelsior too? There's the Excelsior. Okay, he's adjusted. Still got plenty of rounds. Could really make those heat rounds pay now. He got a direct hit. Now we've lost sight of that Excelsior because unfortunately our teammates have pulled away. But luckily there's only 2 enemies left. The BK3001P and this Excelsior. And the 3001P is actually being assaulted by our Staghound and Achilles. So we're firing blind. And that was a direct hit as well. He is getting direct shots. And the Excelsior didn't like that and pulled away. And he's now lost most of his hit points. He's trying to get our VK3601H. But we fire 1 round in. Oh, it's a kill shot! And that wins the game for his team. Here's the end of battle stats. That was a first-class tank for targy in the 105 leFH18B2. He managed to get a demolition expert because he blew up one of the enemy tanks. In fact, it was the Skoda. Literally took around inside. It went straight through into the Amarak and blew him to pieces. The next one he managed to get was, of course, after that was the Tiger 131. Was it the BK? No, it's the Tiger 131 he managed to get as well. He also got a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He actually ended up with 5, 1 short of getting a Top Gun and 1/3 in the enemy team. And on top of that, he got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits in this one. He managed to get 11. His win rate on this game wasn't quite as high as the last game, but it was still very high. 5,604 Super Unicum standard. Let's have a look at team score. Well, he got the 2nd highest damage in the game. The top damage went to the Achilles, who didn't get a high caliber, but he did get 2,017 hit points of damage. 2nd highest damage went to targy, 1,885. And the 3rd highest damage went to the Staghound on their team, who managed 1,807 hit points. When it came to kills, it was targy in the lead with 5. 4 kills went to the VK3601H, and 2 kills went to the Achilles, the Staghound, the SU-100 on the enemy team, their box tank, their VK3001P, and lastly, the Excelsior, the last tank that targy killed. When it came to base XP, it's the Staghound who did the best with 1,112, the only player to get over 1,000. But the next highest was targy with 938, followed by the Achilles with 908. He fired only 28 rounds in this game, got 12 direct hits on the enemy, 6 penetrating shots. Those heat rounds sometimes do prove to be quite useful. 6 splash damage as well, 1,885 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. Fired 6 rounds, damaged 6 of the enemy, killed 5, And on a premium count, he earned 101,756 credits on that game, despite the fact that he did use premium rounds in the game. And he also picked up 3,377 experience points. So a very profitable game for Targy. Let's have a look at the end of battle results again. Yes, not a bad showing after the previous game where he actually did get a high win rate and the high caliber, but they lost the game overall because the rest of his teammates weren't really up to it. And then follow that up with this game where he gets a first class and a fairly good win rate, and a number of kills, but doesn't get a huge, doesn't get a medal of any major sorts, or a battle hero medal or an epic medal. But it was a good one nonetheless, and he did get the last kill of the game, plus a blind kill as well on that M10 RBFM. I hope you enjoyed both those replays. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.